Hi guys, this is Maria. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video today, I'm going to share with you some of my Echeveria propagation projects. I'm going to also give you update on Graptopetalum ghost plant propagation projects, and I'm going to answer your questions about lights. So a lot of you have asked me what lights I use for which plants, what's the number of hours I keep lights on, and what's the distance between the plants and the lights. So before I start with that, I'm gonna share with you a quick unboxing of the new light. I'm gonna actually replace my oldest LED grow light, Kingbow light. So let's start. So this light you can find on Amazon, and it gives a natural color of the light, so it's not pink, which is nice because you can see your plants at any time, even when the lights are on. With pink lights it's a little bit harder, you know, because the colors are changed. I'm gonna put the link below in the description for these lights so you can check them out. The price is pretty good, and I don't know if I'm saying this well, but the name of the light is Wolazak. So here is how they look like. So they're thinner lights, kind of like spider farmer lights, and they're very light. Alright, so here is the top. So I'm wondering what this is on the side. It has numbers from 0 to 100. I'm gonna have to figure that out. And then, just as the old other lights that I have unboxed previously, they have these ropes for hanging them, which I never really use because I put them on shelves and use zip ties, which I have already brought here. There is a cable that, you know, you connect this cable from the light to the outlet, electrical outlet, and then there is these little hooks for each of the four corners on the light that you connect to the rope if you're using rope, or you can, like me, just directly use zip ties on all these four corners. Let's see. So it's one of those lights that has low noise and low heat. The surface that they're covering are 3 by 3 feet, which is how most of my lights are, and it gives sunlight full spectrum lighting. Just trying to figure out what this little circle is for. Okay, so you can regulate the lighting by it. So there is recommendations. So these are some kind of percentages. They go from 0 to 100. So for blooming plants it's recommended 100. For vegetables between 75 and 100. For seedings from 50 to 75, and for germination to be placed on 50. So I suppose I'm gonna place mine to 100 or 90, something like that. Alright, so let me take off my Kingbow light, and then I'm gonna set this one up and show you how it looks. So I'm just cutting zip ties that were holding the Kingbow light. Here it is, guys. I just set it up. It's the late evening, so I came back from work, and that's why the other lights are not on. So I plugged this one in the wall just so I can show you how it looks. The light is really beautiful, like the color is really nice, so you can see really well colors of the plants. You can see it's very thin and light. So I'm really curious how it's going to perform. I set it up this circle here that's from 0 to 100. I set it up to 90 or 80. So it's 80, which is a kind of recommendation for the plants that are not blooming. So I thought, because it is winter time, I think that should be okay. I'm curious how they're gonna work and maintain the colors here. These are my Graptopetalums, Graptoveria spatiphytums, and very demanding for the light type of plants. So let's focus now on the questions you asked about the lights. First, I wanted to share that about 6 years ago when I started collecting succulents, first winter, I think I lost most of them. So don't get discouraged if you have killed a lot of succulents. At the time, I wasn't checking if my windows are facing east or west or south. I was just putting plants wherever I could. Didn't know enough about succulents, and a lot of them died because they were overwatered, didn't have light, or didn't have rest. So year after I started collecting, I got interested in lights, and I just got one of these fluorescent T5 high output lights from eBay. You can still find them. And over the next 2 years, I added more of those fluorescent lights, and I kept them on for about 10 hours a day. They spent a little bit more electricity than LED grow lights that I have now, but I still had kept some of them. And the distance between the fluorescent lights and the plants is about 7 inches actually, because when I kept them higher, my succulents would start stretching. And another reason why this can happen is now these lights that I have here are about 4 years old, so over time they're not as working as well as they used to. So over the years I started decreasing that space. So just observe your plants and see if they're getting stretched. Just need the light to be closer. Now the other lights that I have here are LED grow lights, and I have 4 different ones. So about, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I got the first LED grow light, which was Kingbo. That one, as well as High Grow 1000, has given some of the most beautiful distressed colors on my Echeverias and Graptopetalums. I have never really under any light got such deep pink colors. Disadvantages of these 2 lights have been that they do create a little more noise because of the fans, and they do dry a little bit more air in the grow room. The plants and the soil get drier, but this happens with all of the lights. So I had the same problem with fluorescent lights, with spider farm. Everything gets dry when you're using light. To deal with this problem, I think that the distance between the lights and the plants, as well as the number of hours you're running the lights, will really make a difference with that. So these are my observations, because this last year I sort of performed an experiment, especially with my Crassulas and Echeverias, and I kept them whole year inside. Some of the Echeverias, and I'm going to show you one, like this. This is, I think, Violet Queen, Echeveria Pink Violet Queen, got really narrow rosettes, which happened with some other succulents that I have. I really think that this is results of being under lights and being constantly stressed and dry, and every week it loses at least 3 leaves. Just right now, I think even more. There is some debris and dry leaves. So I kept the lights 13 inches from the plants, except for the Spider Farmer light that was above my Crassula collection. And my observation is that the Crassula collection was less dry and had less debris than the rest of the plants. So my recommendation for the distance would be 15 inches or more. Initially, when I started running these lights, I was running them 11 hours, and I know some other YouTubers like Alex. He hasn't posted videos for a while, but he has some beautiful succulents. He recommended to be run like 11-12 hours, and my experience was that 11 and 12 hours would dry up plants, my plants, a lot. So I am running them about 8 hours a day, and I didn't notice any stretching or loss of color. When you increase the distance between the light and the plants, you also are able to cover a little bit more surface. So if you're too close to the plants, then you're gonna usually cover like 2 by 2, which is about 4 square feet, or 2 by 3, 6 square feet. But if they're a little bit higher, then you can cover maybe 9 square feet of succulents, which is also great. And it also saves you electricity when you're running them less hours. So I think that answers all of your questions in regards to light. So now I'm going to show you some of the Echeveria propagation projects I have been working on and give you an update on my Graptopetalum ghost plant propagation. So let's take a look. This is one of the pots that I took to conservatory. It's been there for a while and it just looked a bit beat up. Some of these branches, like this one and this one, broke off from the main stem. And I just felt it needed to be reset, whether I'm going to keep it under lights or put it back in the conservatory. So I prepared a pot and maybe it needs a little more soil. Just going to shorten this stem just a little bit. And I'm gonna set it in a soil. So this is the other one that broke off. There is some aerial roots that are growing, like this little pink one. I don't know if you can see. So I'm just gonna place that one next to this one. And then there is a lot of little ones that I took cuttings a while ago and they rooted, so I think I'm gonna just keep them as they are. Okay, this one here has nice roots, so I don't think I'm gonna cut it. I'm just gonna tuck it in there as well. And then there is a few little ones. And I think I'm gonna just throw away this main stem. It just doesn't look aesthetically good, and I'm not gonna wait to get some growth out of it. So here it is. I don't think I like how this looks. Maybe I need to change the order of these plants, but take them out because this does not look good. Maybe I think it's good when you're starting with plants to put the biggest one right in the middle, like this, and then some other big ones close to it. Leave the smaller ones to put on the sides. I have to, these are so hard to tuck in because they have such a long stems, and then the leaves keep coming off. I don't know why. The reason I think I took this one to conservatory is because I didn't like how it looks. I just I think it's better now. Here I rearranged it a bit. So let's see what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'm gonna put it under lights, and then if I still don't like this one, I'm gonna take it back to conservatory. I don't know, guys, if you remember this beautiful Echeveria Perle Nurnberg that I got this summer. Just looked amazing end of the summer, and I knew it's gonna change as soon as the winter comes because it's not gonna have enough light. We go days without light. So first I had it facing south on a natural light in my bedroom, but we would have days when there is no light, and it started stretching, as you can see here. So I took it to conservatory. And it did got colors back in a conservatory because I think it was stressed a bit because it's cooler there. But then it would dry so much over there. I don't know, because it's super cold in the desert dome. Like they don't have all heaters functioning. So I placed this plant by the heater so it can survive. But then it dries too much. So, and then it gets really wrinkly. Look at these some of these leaves, how wrinkly they are, and they're very soft. So I decided I think I need to propagate this plant. My husband said just cut off these beautiful tips, so that's what I'm gonna do today. As hard as it is, I'm gonna cut those off, and I think I'm gonna cut this rosette off, and hopefully the main stem will grow through. Oh, I'm gonna cut these now. I feel so sad to cut this one. Oh. Look at how pretty these little rosettes are. I think I'm gonna put them all together. Maybe I'm gonna use a little bit of rooting hormone. Here they are, guys. So cute. And now I'm gonna cut this rosette. I'm just looking where it would be the best to cut. I think this is gonna be a good place, but I also wanna leave plenty leaves in this on the stem, bottom stem, so that hopefully this can grow new rosettes. So there is the piece I cut. I'm gonna carefully remove and try to propagate these bottom leaves because they're huge. Look at them. So I think I'm gonna have to remove 3 of them. There. I think it's ready. I'm just gonna leave this beautiful rosette to dry. I'm not gonna plant it right away. And I'm gonna take this big pot, since I'm going to conservatory, back there, because I just don't have enough windows with sunlight and not enough space under lights, so hopefully it's gonna be all right there. So these are all of my Graptopetalum ghost plants. So you're gonna see that when I love some succulents, I have so many pots of the same one, and they can look very different, you know, when they are exposed to different conditions. So this is the original plant that I got about a year and a half ago. And it doesn't look that great anymore because I propagated so much that there is a lot of these stems that have been chopped off and then just grew rosettes where they were cut. But so I never succeeded in breaking the soil and the roots because it was just so, you know, dense, and so I just left it as it is. But I'm actually really considering just cutting all of the rosettes and just starting 2 new pots, because I don't know that it looks that good anymore, unfortunately. So last time, this was the pot where I took the cuttings from here, but then I had a friend that came over and really liked these, and they were already rooted, so I gave her all of these that were half of the pot here. So then I took more cuttings and filled this pot. So these are cuttings that I took a few weeks ago, and they're all rooted. They're beautiful. So and then when I did this pot here, I think I also did these little leaf propagations, and as you can see, they grew a little bit bigger, all of these little rosettes. I love how they have more pink color when they're tiny, so they're just so cute. I think I added some more from the leaves that fell off. Like there is always leaves that come off and they just propagate themselves. This mother plant has given so much. And I just feel bad that I have actually took so many cuttings, because sometimes you cannot just keep taking cuttings. You just have to let the plant rest and grow. And then there is also this pot. So this pot were the leaves from this plant that I took to conservatory, and I left the leaves to grow. So these were not grown under LED lights. They were in a conservatory until maybe 2 weeks ago when I brought them back home. So you can see the color is a little bit different. They seem to be a little bit longer, a little bit less stressed out, less pink purple color, but still really beautiful. They grew so much, and I think faster than these will be growing under lights. So yeah, that's the update on my Graptopetalum ghost plant. Look at all those beautiful, beautiful rosettes. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that these tips for lights and use of lights will be helpful to you. See you soon in the next video.